In this video, I'm going to do an overall general tune-up on this riding lawnmower. It's been setting for about 2 years. I've already replaced the battery so I know it turns over, but we need to do some general maintenance items. Air filter, spark plugs, oil change, things like that. I'll provide you with part numbers, links in the description on all the parts I'm putting on this mower. Now this is a Snapper 400. It's similar to a Simplicity Conquest. It has a 24 horse Briggs motor. Now the nice thing about Briggs, a lot of them use interchangeable parts. So from about 18 horse to 26 horse Briggs motors, a lot of them use the same parts. I'm going to show you in the owner's manual all the parts I'm using. We'll talk about it along the way at how to find the correct parts for your mower. So here's a close-up look at the motor. It's a Briggs & Stratton Professional Series 24 horse. If you have your owner's manual, you can go back to the specifications page. And right here is going to be common service parts. And here's a genuine Briggs & Stratton air filter, part number 792105. We'll go ahead and pull that old one out, slip this new one on. Shouldn't take more than about 2 minutes. The air filter cover is right here at the front of the engine. It's going to have 2 wing nuts on it. Go ahead and loosen up both of these wing nuts and lift the cover straight off. If you've had a mower that's been sitting a long time, a lot of times mice like to make nests around the air filter area. Check it out that there's no evidence of mice in there. As long as there isn't, go ahead and pull out the old filter and snap the new filter in place. Go ahead and put the air filter cover back on and go ahead and tighten up those wing bolts. Not all mowers are going to have a fuel filter. But if yours does, we're going to go ahead and replace it. If your mower doesn't have a fuel filter, you can easily install one just by cutting your fuel line, installing the fuel filter, and that's going to help make your engine last a little bit longer. So we're going to go ahead and replace this one. Now to remove a fuel filter, you're going to need to stop the fuel from running to the carburetor. So if you have a shutoff valve, you can go ahead and shut that off. If not, use some vice grips to pinch off the fuel line. Use some cardboard or tape so the vice grips don't mar up the rubber. And then you're going to slide your clamps off of the fuel filter, and then you're going to go ahead and pull the hose off of the fuel filter. You're going to have some towels or a small catch pan because you will get a little bit of residual fuel leak out of your fuel filter. You might not be able to read it, but every fuel filter has a flow arrow. So make sure you install your fuel filter correctly so that the fuel is flowing with the arrow. Once your new filter is back on, go ahead and slide your clamps back over the fuel filter nipple area. Once your new fuel filter is on, go ahead and turn on your fuel if you have a fuel valve. We're going to go ahead and replace the spark plug. And this is the Champion spark plug for this engine. You can also get Briggs & Stratton spark plugs. If you want the best spark plugs, I recommend NGK. Move the spark plug boot, grab it as low as you can, and I like to give it just a little bit of a twist to kind of loosen it up before pulling off. Remove the spark plug and reinstall your new ones. You're going to need a 5/8 deep well socket or a 5/8 deep well spark plug socket. Go ahead and remove your old spark plug and just take a look at the condition of the end of this plug. This one looks pretty good. It's kind of brown, it's not black, and I don't see any grit or any buildup on the electrode. So this actually looks like it's burning pretty well. Another tip, if you have a mower that you're not sure what year it is, a lot of times if you look on the fuel line, it will actually have a date on it. So this mower is actually a 2012, and the fuel line's dated July 28th, 2011. Usually whatever the date is on this fuel line, your mower is 1 year newer. Now before you install your new spark plugs, make sure you gap them with a gap gauge. Most of these small engines are gapped at about 30 thousandths. Most of the owner's manuals will not tell you. You'll have to look it up online. But in general, 30 thousandths gap is about where these smaller engines are. Go ahead and reinstall the new plug and start to tighten your plug by hand only. You want to make sure that you're not cross-threading. Spark plugs should go in fairly easy. Once you get it to about hand tight, we'll go ahead and torque it down. If if you have a torque wrench, in general these spark plugs get torqued to about 18 foot-pounds. If you don't have one, go to about a quarter to a half turn past hand tight. Come around to the other side of the engine and do the same thing for the other spark plug. Now we're going to go ahead and change the oil. Once again, check your common service parts, and it's going to tell you what style oil filter yours uses. Which this one here is that part number there, and this is a genuine Briggs & Stratton oil filter. So we're going to go ahead and change the oil next. So to drain the oil, you're going to need a catch pan or something to catch about 2 quarts of oil. Find your oil drain tube, which is going to look like this right here, and we're going to go ahead and loosen this bolt. So before you drain your oil, start your mower and let it run for about 3 to 5 minutes. You want your oil to be somewhat warm, not exactly hot, but you don't want it to be cold when you're draining it. So get your oil warmed up and then proceed to drain. Now go ahead and let your oil drain. It's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes to get all the oil out, and then we'll go ahead and replace that plug. And don't forget to tighten that drain plug. And a lot of times if you have a hose drain like this, it's got a little spot to tuck it into. And then we'll go ahead and swap out that oil filter. But now go ahead and remove that oil filter. Make sure you have a catch pan underneath. And it doesn't seem like what lawnmower you're changing a filter on. It seems like oil likes to get all over the frame of the mower. So you can stuff some paper towels underneath here to help soak up some of the oil. Now when installing a new oil filter, you want to make sure you use a little bit of clean oil around this rubber gasket. Go ahead and tighten this up hand tight, and then go about a quarter turn past hand tight. Now in your owner's manual, it's going to give you oil recommendations of the viscosity. Now normally Briggs & Stratton just recommends straight 30 weight. As you can see down here, if you are using straight 30, but you're maybe going to do some snow blowing or snow pushing with your mower, you're going to want a little bit of thinner oil. Now if you live in Texas, you're going to use a little bit different oil than if you live in northern Wisconsin. So according to your local environment, figure out what kind of oil you want to use in your mower. If you're only mowing with it in the summer, straight 30 weight is going to work just fine. You've added your oil. Make sure that your oil cap is fully seated all the way down. Pull it out and double check the capacity that you have the correct amount of oil in your motor. Now, congratulations on doing your own maintenance and tune-up. Your mower should last you a long time by doing stuff like this every couple of years. Or one like this that's been sitting a while, it's going to bring it right back to life. Saved yourself a lot of time and money by doing it yourself and not taking it to a dealer. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to, and thanks for watching.